Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today it's another new Charlotte Tilbury review. First impression I should say. I keep saying review. I mean first impression. Of the new Glowing Pretty Skin Palette. At least I'm holding it the right way up today. Okay, so let me get straight in to this review. Okay, so the box is sort of pretty standard box with, obviously you can see the photograph on the front, and this is what the palette looks like. Let me just take my fingerprints off it so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so very pretty. Then you open up the palette and you have 6 items in here, and this is the items. So first of all you have her airbrush flawless finish powder in shade 2 medium. You have the bronze from her Film Star Bronze and Glow. You have 2 blushes, and you have 2 highlighters. The top one is very similar to her Film Star Glow from Bronze and Glow. The bottom one is slightly different. This one's a little bit different as well, but I'm going to tell you a bit about that in a second. Okay, so first of all, let me go through the shades and compare them to the standard size products. Okay, we'll do that first. Okay, so first of all, looking at the Bronze and Glow. Now, it's the Bronze and Glow from the light to medium Film Star Bronze and Glow, which I have here. Okay, and as you can see, I've reached pan on them. And I have looked at them, and they look, the bronze looks exactly the same to me. It's very difficult to swatch these items on your fingers, so I don't know if you're going to see this, but I'll give it a go. So this is the bronze from Film Star Bronze and Glow. Okay, I'm going to try and take a picture, but they're very difficult to see. Okay, and then this one is the bronze from the new palette. Okay, if anything, I would say it's slightly darker, but not really. I would say there's not much in it at all. I'm going to try and take a photograph in a pretty reasonable light, and I'll put it here. Okay, it was virtually impossible to show it up on my actual arm, so I swatched it on paper. Hope you don't mind, but you can see it's very, very slightly darker than the original palette. So that's that. Okay, next we're going to move on to the highlighter. Now there's 2 highlighters in here, and one of them is very different, and the other one is similar but not quite the same. So I'm going to show you these ones. Now let me just show you first of all, we have the highlighter on my finger of the original Hollywood Film Star Bronze and Glow, sorry. Okay, so this is for the light to medium Film Star Bronze and Glow. Okay, now I'm going to now swatch you the top highlighter, which is a one I think it is similar to, but not quite. And you can see, I think from there, that it's got slightly more of a pink to it than the original. The original is just sort of pure champagne. This one is kind of pink champagne. Okay, and I'm going to just take a photo of my fingers for this swatch, and I will put it here. Okay, now moving on to the second highlighter. This one is more of a gold tone highlighter. So I'm going to swatch that on the full finger. And you can see that one there. So you can see that's very much more towards bar of gold kind of highlighter. So you have the original there, which is sort of pure cream. Then you have the first one in the palette, which is a kind of pink champagne. And then you have this one, which is more of a gold. Some pink and gold, okay? And I will take a picture and insert it here.
To fix the rules on my base.
Okay, I've just washed down my fingers. Next, I'm going to show you the two blushes. Now, they are very similar. And I did look at some reviews, and this is one of the criticisms lodged against the blush. But I'm going to tell you a bit about that in a minute. So the top one, I will show you here. So it's quite a light and bright pink. And then the bottom one is quite similar, but it is darker, and it's got a bit more shimmer to it, okay? And I'm going to insert a photo here. I should say, sorry, the lighter one's got more shimmer to it. It's very difficult to see when you swatch it like this, but when you actually swatch it on your arm, you can see a bit of shimmer in this one, and this one looks a bit more matte. Okay, I'm going to insert the photo. Okay, excuse me because somebody's fire alarm is going off outside. I've got so much to contend with on here. So next we have the powder, the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. And here is the original, which I have in shade 2. That's the one that I use. And I've hit pan on that, as you can see. And then we have the one in the palette. So I'm going to swatch you both of those so that you can see. To me, they look identical. Let's see what you think. So this is the original, and this one is the one in the palette, and I cannot see any difference whatsoever. I will also take a photograph of that. Okay, so now I've done the swatches, I am going to split this up into further sections. So I'm going to do a section, is it worth it from an objective point of view? Is it worth it from a subjective point of view? And finally, you can see me applying this, which I did earlier. Okay, I did everything in the wrong order today because I had to get ready to go out. Then I came in and all my makeup had washed off, and so I had to reapply. But so let's get on with, is it worth it objectively? Okay, so the first thing that needs to be looked at here is the amount of product that is in the palette. So each item is made up, is 6 times 2.8 grams of product. Now the original of the Film Star Bronze and Glow, and of the Airbrush Flawless Finish, and of the Cheek to Cheek blushes is 8 grams. So you're getting just over a quarter of the amount. Okay. So I wanted to also see whether it was worth the money that you're spending on it, because obviously you're getting a lot less product, but you're getting a variety of products. So I sat down and did all the maths last night and worked it out. So basically I whittled down, I worked out for each of these products, so for Airbrush Flawless Finish, for Film Star Bronze and Glow, and for Cheek to Cheek, I worked out the price per gram of product. Okay, And then once I had the price per gram of product, I then worked out how much each of them would be if there was only 2.8 grams in there, and then totaled it up. Okay, I won't go into it anymore because it just gets a bit boring. But the bottom line is that this product, based on the price per gram of the full size products, would come to £57.21 if you bought it. Okay, so you are getting a saving in here in terms of the price per gram of the full size products. You are getting a saving of £8.21. But of course you're getting less product, but price per gram you are actually getting a saving of £8.21. Now the next thing is, people said, well, 2.8 grams isn't that much, it's not going to last very long. Now you may be surprised to know something, because I was checking one of the big contenders for this palette is obviously the instant look in a palette. So let me show you one of these. Now you may be surprised to learn that, okay, the bronze and the glow are 6 grams, but these shadows here, the blushes and the eyeshadows, are actually less than in this palette. There's only 2 grams of product in them, so it is a lot less than the full size, but it's more than the blush and the eyeshadows in instant look in a palette. Okay, so let's get on to whether subjectively I think it's worth the money. Okay, I looked at some reviews from Nordstrom, because this palette was an exclusive to Nordstrom a couple of months ago, and it had quite a few bad reviews, people saying it was powdery, people saying it wasn't the same as the original, you're better off with the original. And I have to say that I haven't noticed any difference whatsoever in terms of quality to the original. It's exactly the same as far as I'm concerned to the quality of the original. So I do not think, unless the Nordstrom one was a different formula and they have revised it, which may have happened, they may have listened to feedback, but certainly this product in terms of quality is just as good as the individuals. Okay, now the second criticism I've heard about this palette, and I've also heard about this palette from some very big YouTube reviewers, is they're not big enough to get your big blush brushes in because of the size of the products. Now this kind of annoys me. I think they're plenty big enough, and I think that anybody that says that is missing the point of this product. This product is designed to be travel friendly, to fit into your handbag, to take out and about with you. And as far as I'm concerned, if I'm taking that out with me, I'm not going to be taking a massive blusher brush with me. I'm going to be taking something like my new brush kit, right? Or, as Charlotte is selling online, the sculpt brush. But I wouldn't be taking on holiday with me massive brushes. If you are, then you can carry the full size ones. But if you take, for example, let me just take the blush brush from Charlotte's travel set, and you put it on here, it is plenty. It's not hitting the sides, it's fitting them perfectly. So I think really, and again with her sculpt brush, it's fitting it perfectly without a problem. Okay, so I just think that criticism is a bit unfounded, because it's not designed to be something that you use at home. You might want to use it at home, but it's designed to be something that is an all-in-one product that you use while you're out and about. And I think it's perfect for that. Now, another criticism I read of this product is that the two blushes are almost identical. One's called Pretty Blush and the other's called Summer Blush. Now, I think probably, to be fair, they are pretty similar colours. And I think Charlotte would have been better calling this a Swish and Pop. And I'm going to show you an example. If you look at Love Glow, which is quite similar, but this one's more, it's not quite the same. Because the one in the palette is quite pink. Now, why can't I open this palette all of a sudden? Oh, there we go. So if you look at this, if you look at Love Glow, which is one of her best-selling blushes, you will look and you will see that the middle shade and the outer shade are not that different to one another either. But they're a Swish and Pop shade. So one is slightly lighter, the other one is slightly darker. And I think if you look at these blushes, in terms of not that you have two blushes, but that you have a Swish and Pop, then I think it's just how it's been presented. It's not two blushes, really. It's more of a Swish and Pop. And that's certainly how I used it today. Okay? Okay, so my conclusion. Would I buy this palette? I'm on one health. Definitely. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I was a bit worried last night, having read the Nordstrom reviews, that it was going to be somehow second rate. It's not. It's up to a normal standard. It is not like the big palette of last year. It doesn't smell of anything. The formula's exactly the same. It is great. It's fantastic. And I have to say that of all Charlotte's products that I own, this is the only one that I'm tempted to buy a second. Because I think it's just so handy to have it in your handbag. The fact that it's got powder in it. Now, in terms of her instant palettes, I love those too. But they don't have powder in them. But they do have eyeshadow in them. So it swings and roundabouts about what you want. Obviously, it'd be great if she had a instant look in a palette with some powder in. Wouldn't that be fantastic? But basically, with this, you've always got the option with this palette to actually use the blush on your eyes. You can use the contour on your eyes in the crease, and actually you could get a complete look out of this. Now there's an idea for tomorrow's Get Ready With Me. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I think this is fantastic. It's certainly gonna go into my handbag, and I'm a bit worried about the day that it runs out because it's a limited edition. So I have considered about whether or not I get another one. But it's a considered purchase, as they say on QVC, when something's not exactly cheap. But I'm thinking about it, and I will let you know whether I get a second one. So all that remains for me to do now is to show you me applying it this morning. Now, please take note. You will hear me saying a lot of this. I will repeat myself because I've done everything in the wrong order. I put some foundation on this morning, which was horrible. I really regretted putting it on. It looked patchy, it looked horrible. And the only reason I put it on is it's very, very hypoallergenic. And I thought it would stop my eyes watering. But as you will see, it didn't work anyway. So when I got back and I wanted to finish off this video, which I'm doing right now, I actually did my face again, and I put some MAC foundation on, which as you can see is a lot better. Now, one last message for Lady Million. The one thing I haven't changed at all, I've had to change my entire foundation and start my face makeup again. But the one thing I haven't changed is the Eyes to Mesmerise in Marie Antoinette on my eyes. Now you will see, sorry you haven't seen it yet, you will see how much my eyes watered, and you will see therefore that the Eyes to Mesmerise are very long lasting. But this, guys, and this, if I had a friend who was just as much into makeup as me, and they said to me, I've got £100 to spend on you for Christmas, that's what would be on my list. This palette and this brush kit. Although, to be fair, I might actually choose the burgundy one. I still prefer the burgundy one, and it's still available. But I just think that is such a perfect Christmas present. So guys, if you're watching these videos wondering what to get for your makeup loving girlfriend or wife, or you want to send it to me, you can but try. These two items, I think any woman would be delighted to own, because they're just so convenient for your handbag. Okay, hope you enjoy me putting it on, and I'll come back and say goodbye to you at the end of the video. Hi there, so as I've probably just told you, I have to pop out, so I'm just going to quickly run through this palette and you will see my review before this. But I've probably just told you all that. I can never do videos in reverse, you know that. Okay, let's go in first of all with the powder. I have got a little bit of powder foundation on. I'm not enamoured of this foundation that I have on. It is one by La Roche. It's La Toleriane one. I don't like the look of it. It always looks a bit patchy, but it is hypoallergenic and my eyes are very, very sensitive at the moment. Hence why I've used it. So this is going on exactly the same as our airbrush Flawless Finished in the larger size. So I'm just going to dot that on. Yep. It's beautiful as ever. My eye's watering, can you see that? Yep, that looks good to me. Looks no different. So now I'm just going to put some of the bronzer on and just sculpt my cheekbones. Okay, I'm pleasantly surprised because I was getting worried having read some of the reviews on Nordstrom last night. But to me, that's the same as the full-size Bronze and Glow. And it's showing up beautifully on my skin. Let's just put some around here. Sculpt underneath. Okay, so I'm going to use the blush and then I'll do the highlight last. I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to use it. One is shimmery and one is more matte. And I'm going to use both of them as a swish and pop. I'm just trying to decide which one to use as the pop and which one to use. I think I'm going to use the lighter one as the pop. And then use the one at the bottom to swish. Reason I did that is because this one is going on a larger area near to where I have open pores, and therefore I want that one to be the matte one. Looking good. I'm loving it so far. And then I'm going to pop with the other one. Woo! And that did pop. You could see it bounce up in the pan. Okay, and then, wow. I wasn't conservative with that. Because again, I was reading the reviews last night that said it doesn't show up on me. It shows up on me, definitely. I look very flush now. Never mind. And then with the sculpt brush, you know, now I've used, one of them is the Film Star one, and I think it's the top one, but they both actually look different. So I'm going to go with the bottom one because that one is very different to, or is it? One is champagne and one is champagne pink. I think because I'm wearing purple, I'll go with the champagne pink. The gold will look good on medium skin tones like mine as well. I'll see if I can get it in somehow. But let me just go for the pink first and just put that on. Yep, that's very similar to a Film Star Glow. But it is slightly, they're both slightly different. This one is slightly different, the other one is completely different. I think I can probably get away with, let me just use that pink one up here. And I use that pink one here. And down the middle of my nose. Just for the sake of it, I'll use the bottom one so you can see the difference. It's kind of got more of a more of a gold tone to it. So if you've got darker skin tones, I think she's thought of everybody in this palette. Because if you've got darker skin tones, let me layer some over the top of this. It's actually going to show up more. See, on my skin tone, because I'm olive, that's showing up more. And if you're fair and you've got more of a pink undertone, then the pink one's going to show up more. So I think she's thought of every skin tone, apart from, of course, with the powder. But I'm very happy with that. I just need to go and calm down the blush now. That'll teach me to read reviews that say couldn't see the blush on my cheeks and I'm like skinned. I don't know what. Maybe they were a different batch or the Nordstrom ones. I don't know, but I certainly can see it on mine. And I'm not fair. So, that's it. I will talk to you later. See you. Bye. Hi all. I just wanted to show you this. My eyes have been streaming. And it just goes to show that this foundation, which I didn't even like, that I thought would stop my eyes from streaming and being sensitive, has not even done that. So it's a big thumbs down to the foundation. I suppose I didn't expect it to perform miracles, but I did think it would perhaps make my eyes a little less sensitive. But no. And it's run everywhere. And I look a mess. And yes, I did use the concealer, which was for sensitive eyes as well. Okay, I'll see you in a minute to do the rest of the review. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'm really delighted with this palette. It's £49. It's available at Charlotte Tilbury. It says it's a limited edition again. Yeah, I would highly recommend this palette. So, hope you've enjoyed my video, and if you have any questions, please do let me know. But this is the finished look on the Better foundation. Okay, so please take a look at this and you will see what I mean. It's
all my ammo.
It's just wonderful, Charlotte. Wonderful, wonderful Charlotte. Okay, see you soon. Take care and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye. Join me tomorrow when I will be using this palette to do an entire look. So I'll be putting it on my eyes as well. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.